Hello and welcome back to my beautiful YouTube channel. I am so grateful to have your presence back here. If it's your first time visiting me, my name is Gia and I'm a clear channel for Mother Agua and the Mercadians and a beautiful Akashic channel. And if you're curious to know what all that means, everything is linked below in the description, my website, my social media, where I go into depth in explaining what I do and how I do it. Today's topic is, of course, going to be a channeled message, surprise. But it's something that I received a download for about a week ago, and I've been sitting with it because the human in me was in denial of it. And I'm sure we've all been there where we know the truth and we're just not trying to accept it because so many things will need to change in our acceptance there, but that's the beauty, right? The faster, not faster, the way we ease into acceptance, the more easier it is to allow change happen for our highest good. But today's topic is the creation of the ego. Yes. So oftentimes, myself including, will say, my ego takes over. I have to tell my ego to shut up. I'm battling with my ego, blah, 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 all this. But the reality is, humanity, us as humans, and us being the lights and the extension of the source, we were created in divine perfection. And we were created in full joy, full harmony, peace, love, all that high vibrational emotions and way of being. So where did this ego come from if we were not created with it? The ego is also another distortion that we can go deeper, right? We can say it was implanted, it was manufactured, it was sent out in a frequency or whatever it was. But the ego essentially is programming. It's deep subconscious programming that tries to fight you when you try to outdo it, when you try to outsmart that programming and that system. It tries to launch back and just fight you. That's the ego. That's it. We've given ego such a pedestal to shine from. The ego doesn't even need to be a thought. Yes, you're making a change, you're making a decision. The devil on your shoulder, the ego is speaking. That's lovely. That's okay. That's just a programming. What is the ego saying? Whatever the ego is saying is your subconscious fear. It's your deep subconscious programming that's actually running the reality. So how can you unfold and unlayer this screaming ego of yours? Maybe write out the patterns, write out the thoughts, and connect the dots and see where it's coming from. And once you've connected the dots, you can just instantly release it. We're entertaining the ego to the point where it's consuming so much of our energy, our attention, our time in just trying to fix the ego and trying to problem solve with the ego. The ego is just a mind's creation. And this is how I do it. When my ego, programming, gets really loud, I simply start to visualize the best case scenarios for myself. Like, what are the possibilities? Like, how big can I get here? I'll literally visualize a movie theater and I'll watch it like a movie and I'll literally tell my ego to watch this movie. I'm like, oh, here, look at this, watch this movie. And I'll just continue making and taking the actions that are required to align me to my next chapter. I don't ever really allow the ego to run my show, to say, because the ego is such a deep subconscious programming that's just trying to take over the reality. And we as conscious creators, with our full awareness, we don't have to necessarily allow that. Once we are aware, we can do the movie thing, like I mentioned, or write it down and just simply unfold it. There's been a lot of entertainment with the ego, but the ego is just a creation created from, we'll just say mankind, because it wasn't created from the source or the divine. It wasn't. I'm just letting this soak in because this was a lot for me. When I first got this download, I was like, wait, what? Because I was fighting my ego. I was. And then I was like, wait, where did my ego come from? And then I realized that, oh yeah, I created my ego. I created my inner toughest critic. And a lot of people, and again, this was my programming too. I just thought, wait, but isn't our ego good for us? Because it brings forward all of this subconscious programming. It's our inner critic. It's healthy for you. And then I realized what's healthy for us is just our joy. We actually necessarily don't need to have an ego. Yeah, we need self-reflection. Absolutely. That's very important to be self-aware. But we don't need to stay in the head because that's what the ego does. It just puts you back in the head. And we don't need to operate from our mind. Our mind is simply there to help us function in life. The creation, the living come from the heart. They don't come from the mind. The mind is just there for functioning. That's all. And if your ego is extremely loud, right, then I highly recommend go out in nature. Go out in nature. Get away from all your electronics, your devices. Go out, hug a tree, ground, and just be with yourself. And I kid you not, your ego will vanish. It simply will not exist because now you are vibrating at a very high level. And you are getting attuned with the original rhythms of yourself and nature. And anything that is not in divine perfection can simply just not exist there. And of course, being in nature puts you back in your heart. There's so many beautiful things to look at, the trees' patterns, the leaves, the birds. Even the grass is so beautiful. Sometimes you have a flowing river nearby, a waterfall. It instantly relaxes the nervous system. And of course, this is going to be a very quick channeled message because this is all the information you need. You don't need any more information. And if you are interested in getting more insights on how to work with your channel and how to simply connect with your highest divine source energy to receive your own intuitive messages clearly and accurately, I have opened up for a limited time. I only have 5 spaces for this, for a intense session with me to activate your channel. And if you are definitely interested, please send me an email. My website is linked below and my email can be found there under contact tab. I will be more than grateful to be working with you. And of course, in order to step into this, you must have a certain level of consciousness and awareness to you. And because this is not, I'm going to be really honest and direct here, this is not a beginner level course. This is definitely someone that is deep in their journey. They've done all their inner shadow work and now they're ready to just fly. It is for those candidates. So if you feel like that is you and you want to work more deeply with your channel, definitely send me an email. And like I said, there's very limited spots. There's only 5 spaces and I would love to work with you. And once again, if you want to connect with me further, everything is linked below in the description. I'm signing off now. Have a very, very blessed day, a blessed week. And until next time, keep thriving.